PaER meeting, May 27th?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yes, it's 27.
All right. What's on the agenda?
The agenda is deciding what we decided. Well, I guess we have to make a decision. Are we done with this sample? And if yes, then we have to decide what to do.
And I want to talk about bringing something to Netroots Nation.
Oh yes, an info packet for that.
Some sort of some kind of.
Okay. Well, we should talk about that after we decide what we're gonna do. And
Okay.
then it'll make more sense,
Yeah.
I guess, to decide what's gonna go in the info packet.
Yeah.
When is that?
It's the 7th, so a week from Thursday.
Packet.
Okay.
I would need it, obviously. I'm leaving.
You would need.
I'm leaving on the 7th.
So you would need it by next Wednesday at the latest? Or Sunday? You'll be around next weekend, right? Before.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I would like to have it. I'm probably not going to go to Wednesday night's meeting because I'm going to have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Okay, so by next week then.
Can you give me what packet? I'm sorry.
Okay, he doesn't know what we're talking about. I'm going to Netroots Nation in Rhode Island next week. Netroots Nation.
Netroots Nation.
It's a convention, sort of a lefty liberal convention, bloggers and politicians and
They're gonna be handing out.
Dylan, look at this dog. Dylan Radigan's going to be there, and Cenk Uygur, and Bernie Sanders. And it's a convention.
Yeah, so we were talking about just putting an info packet together on this.
I like that idea.
I would like to, represent Occupy Wall Street at Netroots Nation.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, we could put together like an info packet with people before parties, the voting experiment doc, and then maybe a press release about initial findings or something.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Like
Definitely the people before parties.
All right. So let's talk about that then. The packet.
I think we just did.
well, we need to decide what we're going to do with the information because that will determine what we put in the packet.
So we have 2 items on the agenda. So you want to? Well, we could. Okay.
Let's do the voting experiment first because that's going to determine what information we use and then, or what information we're going to have.
Smoking, I guess that's a good sign.
Anything else on the agenda? Anyone else want to put something on the agenda?
You got nothing. That's it.
Why do I feel like there was something else?
I always have that feeling.
Oh, money.
Money. That's
Funding for flyers, for...
Oh, yeah.
How are we going to fund it?
For...
You could talk about talking about it.
Yeah.
You do a meta talk. Talk about it.
Does OccuCopy do free stuff? Still do free printing? For Occupy
From the
stuff?
budget. There is a budget. There was an outreach budget. However, I don't know who has access to the outreach budget. Is it generic?
Are you? Okay. Okay. All right. That's all I needed to know. I was very worried about it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So I'm.
So
Sorry.
we have an outreach budget. I don't know if it's a generic for like generic messaging or is it for specific for the working groups that they can use. Jason has more information on that if he's not here.
I'm going to be talking to them tomorrow because they're going to be making buttons and stickers for my band.
Who's them?
OccuCopy.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I can ask them when I call them. I can ask them about that when I call them tomorrow.
Perfect. All right, then maybe we should hold up the discussion until we get that bit of information. That's important to the conversation, the larger conversation on funding.
Yeah.
Because
Well, in terms of copies, I have a Staples card with $10 still on it.
excellent.
Well, that's really the only expense we have, right? It's
That's
just
it.
copies at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, unless we decide we want to buy another iPad.
Right, but
But the only ongoing expense we have is
well, what we discussed it before. We said we want to put the money aside for like more ambitious expenditures, which is like iPads or whatever, or something in their expenditure that we would need in order to cover costs for doing analysis. I don't know, graphs, whatever.
Yeah.
But then Jason, he said that he feels like he should get some of the money back he spends on like this, printing this stuff out. So then I said, well, you stop buying prints if you expect that, and then we need to talk about it.
Right.
So that's why I brought it up again, because we did talk about this, and we agreed, right, tentatively, we agreed for larger expenditures, right, for more
Well, we
ambitious.
thought we were going to like save it up. But I think if someone's been throwing, people have been throwing, I mean, copies get expensive. If you're making a ton of copies, you can drop $50, $60 at a time. So if someone, I would be okay if people were standing outside getting donations and was like, hey, I spent $50 on copies today. I don't think it's unreasonable to take $10 out of that or something. I don't know.
Well, it has to be,
I'm just saying
fair.
I'm just saying me personally, yeah.
It has to be fair for everyone.
think
so whatever rule we develop for that, it has to be applicable to everyone.
Right, right. And I think that maybe a smart way to go would be that it has to be approved in advance. I mean, you can't go and spend $50 and then just turn around and say, now I would expect you to pay me back, when we might have said, don't bother spending the $50, or maybe we can find a cheaper way to do it, or whatever.
Yeah.
It has to be, if you want to get paid back, you should ask first.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I laid out money, I laid out about $40 for flyers, but I did it not expecting to get paid back.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
We all did. But
Yeah.
But that can get expensive if you do it. Suddenly you'd be like, did I really spend $150 on paper?
Yeah.
But I think the OccuCopy stuff, they might do it all free. So I'll talk to them. Similar to the way the Guilds does. If it's Occupy related, it's free.
Find a way to print.
But they're a co-op, so Occupy's a co-op.
Oh yeah. I don't
So
know.
it depends on what they want.
Yeah. I'll ask them tomorrow when I call them.
Then I think it's important to have that information before we move forward.
Okay.
And make a decision. But so far, it sounds like we decided that we need advance notice or advance approval, right?
Yeah. I mean, I also think it's reasonable if someone, if people are manning a table all day long, and that table generated whatever. The last time I was at, it generated what, $40 or something.
Yeah. I'll say how much. Give a report back.
Whatever it was. If someone's like, hey, I stood here all day, I need train fare.
Sure.
There's, something like that, that's
right.
Totally reasonable, I think. It's like, well, you helped generate that money, so.
Agreed.
In a way, you have kind of,
Yeah.
How do you feel? You feel good?
I'm fine with that.
If you spend $50 on flyers, and those are the flyers on the table that you're giving out all day, standing there at the table, it's there's a circulation, there's an exchange, an economy going on there. So I think it's reasonable. Which we can talk about more and make more. I think that just sounds reasonable.
All right.
And then we could be like we can make it so that maybe that it's like set, like let's say, just make it simple, like $100 was generated in donations, like some portion of that gets set aside for future big expenditure, some get set aside for copies.
We could do like a petty cash fund or something like that, take a percentage and just make it like a petty cash thing.
Okay, so petty cash implies that we don't approve whatever you're printing. We know you're printing something, but we don't have to see it. That's what it was, right? You just give somebody cash and...
Well, no. I mean,
Isn't that what... For printing or for... I'm confused.
Well, for like what Tim was saying, like for train fare and that
train
kind
fare,
of
yeah.
thing.
That's... Right. But for printing, that's another...
No, printing wouldn't be part of a petty cash thing, I don't think.
Oh, okay. All right.
So this is a confusion.
But we can make it so that it's like, I don't know, if we generate money in that way, we could just say, okay, 10% is for like a future big buy, which would be savings.
Right.
And then whatever, some other percentage would go to like the copy fund, and some percentage goes to some other fund, petty cash or something like that. So if it was $50 and we put aside 20 for some future thing, 20 for copies, and 10 for petty cash.
And we could always change it down the road.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on how much money we actually raise, we may find that it's not working and we change it.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe 50-50? Let's say 50% of whatever comes in, we'll reserve it, put it aside for spending on prints this type of prints. And the other 50% we'll put it aside for more ambitious expenditures.
Sounds good to me.
Buddy,
That sounds good.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. Approved.
Hey, we
Full
got
consensus.
Full consensus. All right, let's move on.
Voting experiment.
Voting experiment. Oh, can I just give you a small report back on the petty cash?
Yeah, yeah.
So we have a total of $134 in the bank.
Oh, wow.
$92 was it from shirts. $42 was straight donations. And that's where we stand.
Do we want to open up an account? Is that actually in the bank, or is just you use
No,
that
it's in an
phrase
envelope.
loosely?
Yeah, it's a phrase.
Do you want to? Do you want to actually open an account, or do we not want to bother with that?
Account? Well, I don't know. So if it's under $2,000, you don't have to report anything, right? But
I think it's 10.
10,000?
I think, but I'm not sure right now.
Because then I think the bank reports you after a certain amount to the IRS. So if
under the mattress might be safer than any bank these days.
All right.
if it exceeds 500, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
All right. I think then.
Yeah. Might not be. I mean, for a couple $100, it might not be worth the trouble to go to the bank.
Right. I got you. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah.
And also-
so let's say $500. If we hit $500, we'll talk about opening an account.
Yeah.
We'll talk about opening an
Yeah.
account.
Oh,
Okay.
well, plus if we get to that level, we might be like, okay, let's take this money and go buy the thing, and then there's no money left, right?
Right.
Right.
And also, out of the shirts, there was an initial investment of $212. So we haven't decided how I'm going to be reimbursed for that.
That's what I was just about to ask.
I
right?
get hold off on that.
Wait, so you put in 212, but you only got, but not all of them have gone yet.
No, not all of them. We still have a lot of shirts left.
Okay.
So, but,
I think you should get paid back.
Yeah, you should definitely just take that back.
I agree. But how that's going to happen is, I don't need it now.
Yeah.
I don't need it. As soon as we hit 212 on the shirts, I don't need it then.
Yeah.
But just keep that in mind.
Yeah. No, I think you should definitely be reimbursed for
But
that
if
outlay.
right, but we do have. So I separated just so we know from what. So these were the in sales of shirts, and that was for donations, $42.
Okay. Cool.
All right,
Excellent.
let's move on.
Okay,
Voting experiment. Yes. All right, I think we should just have an open discussion, right?
Yeah. Do we actually have all the numbers? The only thing we don't have is IRV, right?
Yeah, we don't know how to.
Yeah, that takes a little bit. I mean, I added up the IRV manually last time, and it takes a little while to actually do that. I think it went through 8 rounds before it stopped last time we did it. So we need to. So we're gonna call it. It's done. Is that
I think so.
true? Is this true?
I think so. Yes.
The sample is done
Sample is done.
at 316 responses minus 2.
Unless
There's 2 bogus responses.
you want to gather more here.
Thought
or
about it.
no?
There's only like 20, 30 people here. It might be,
Not worth it.
yeah.
Okay, let's call it.
So there's 316 minus 2 bogus ones. We have to.
Yeah. Those we know are because you wrote in test.
I wrote in
and that's
test.
the one right before that. That's the bogus one. Although it's not even technically bogus. She just was having a technical problem.
Oh, okay. But one.
But the one you,
they didn't want to complete the experiment.
yeah, but she did it anyway.
No, the one I.
The one you did. Wait, what?
Yeah. Is there more?
No.
There's
There was only the woman who discovered the
woman.
problem with
Right.
the
Okay.
with the key, with the thumb key
Right.
thing, and then right directly after that, you did a test and you wrote in test.
Oh.
If you
So then
remember.
there's 3 bogus.
Oh, were the 3
If we're counting the woman, so but she completed it, right?
yeah.
Okay. So then it's not. It was
Why
just
are
it
there
was just
3?
an interface issue with the
Yeah.
keyboard.
Yeah.
Because somebody chose the keyboard that I didn't test it on.
Yeah. Well, what are the other 2 bogus ones?
Uh,
There's the one you did, which was
Aaron.
you wrote in test.
Aaron, he didn't want to complete the
Aaron just
experiment.
decided he didn't want to finish it, so
Yeah.
he stopped.
So he just stopped halfway through. So then I had wrote test.
Okay, and you wrote in test.
I wrote in test.
Okay, so the
For
two
the last.
so there's 2 write-ins that are tests. We just know that those.
Yeah.
All right, so that's simple then. Okay, that's easy. So there are only 2 then.
So there are only 2.
Okay, good. So we got 314 which means that there are 200 of all the alternatives and 100 of the combos. So what we need to do is just we need to write up what did we find, like what did we do and what did we find. That's what we have to write that, right? That's pretty much it.
I don't bring any loose leaf paper.
Yeah, me neither. I have this though, although I need this.
It's okay. We'll write on this.
And we can use the.
All right. So we sampled a. Okay, so we conducted a voting experiment. The experiment asks. Somebody correct my.
What?
Somebody correct my English.
What do you
The
say?
experiment asks.
Asks.
Yes.
Do you have trouble saying ask?
Yeah.
You do?
Yes.
May I ask you a question?
You don't say ask.
I say everything but the right word. Okay, the experiment asks individuals.
Wait, let's write an outline.
To answer. You want to do it differently?
I think all right, that should go somewhere. But I think the first thing is like outline.
This
right?
is the outline, right?
VE, but so we're gonna. There are a number of things we could write up. We could write up a VE. Let's combine this with the info packet. That's going to be our goal. What we want to be in the info packet.
Okay.
Info packet. So in the info packet, we're going to put people before parties.
Oh yes, from the beginning, right?
Yeah. And we'll put in this thing that we were giving out the whole time.
Yeah.
The initial sheet. And then initial. So we have to write up one more thing. Initial. A report of initial results or something.
Right. Preliminary.
Preliminary report of preliminary results.
Right. Preliminary report. Because I don't think we're gonna have time to do some deep analysis.
I don't know if it's preliminary because it's like post-liminary or something. It's like we're between samples.
But we want to draw a conclusion. So our hypotheses are better. So I don't think we're gonna be able to draw that conclusion anytime soon, right?
Yeah.
Unless we find something really that sticks out. But
well, we don't want to draw conclusions when we are already preparing to do another round of testing, right?
well, but we could draw conclusions on this data set.
Yeah.
Just on this data set.
Just say what we found.
Right. Our findings.
And then at the end of that, we could say what maybe some of the drawbacks or disadvantages of what we found. And how we're going to change things moving forward. That could be like a what's next.
Right.
Do we want to put that in? Because we already know some of the, like what we talked about last night, which would be that we didn't include all the options against plurality. We just did a random sampling. And then there was one other one. What was the other one? Did we have another one?
I feel like the answer to that question is yes.
Yeah.
You said changing the question too. Is that what you were thinking?
No.
Okay, so preliminary financial results. So we can do like two separate kinds of documents. We could do like a press release style thing, which is just be a page long, and then a more detailed report and like preliminary report analysis, which could be like 5 pages long.
Yeah, it's gonna be long.
So let's think about that first, because there'd be more information in it. Like really, the press release would just be extracting random statements and lines from the longer thing. So, outline for the preliminary report on initial results. We will begin with an introduction.
Yes.
What should we? So, introduction.
Introduction.
Uh-huh.
You want the text now?
I'm just saying, well, just like,
what will be in the introduction?
what's like the heading of the first section of the introduction?
Oh, who we are.
Oh, yeah, who we are.
Who we are. We could briefly state some of the other things we're working on, or not. You know that? Yes,
I don't think so. That might be
okay.
because this is the report on this.
Okay, who we are.
Can I have the pen?
What's the pen?
What this is. Who we are. PaER at OWS. Like a
right.
brief.
Who we are. We could talk about the document we generated, which is people before parties.
Okay.
We generated that document in response to current electoral crisis that exists, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apparent. Yes.
Voting experiment grew out of that.
Right. And a hypothesis became to an hypothesis. We have a hypothesis, and right, we conducting an experiment to test our hypothesis.
For parties. And then, so brief description.
The experiment.
Experiment. So, brief description of the experiment. First subsection. Let's see, that will be...
Isn't that in the? Wouldn't that be the handout that we get?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that basically the?
You could just cut and paste from that.
Yeah.
That's the easiest.
What it is. What the point is.
Right.
Okay. What was our sample?
Oh, right. Who we targeted, or who we targeted, and our sample size. So we were targeting.
Yeah.
We were doing random samples.
How many? What was our sample? Who? How many? And then, what did we find? Hey.
What's going on?
Hi.
You meditating or what are you guys
Meditating.
Yeah.
My legs are full on sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine too.
For what? Falling asleep?
My legs are falling asleep as well. Yeah. We are meditating on the bankruptcy of the system.
Do you want to sit?
No, I'm okay. I've been on the subway. I took the R.
Oh.
I thought the R in the end.
No, they split in Queens.
Yeah, there's been a lot of...
I didn't know we were this close before.
Yeah.
This is our news.
Yeah, I haven't even walked out of the water yet. What are our findings?
You guys wrapping up or you just start?
We just
We
started.
just started,
Been at it
kind
for
of.
like half an hour, I think.
On
Yeah, just about
fives.
a half an hour.
Yeah, half an hour.
What are our findings? What does this mean? Do those...
What do the findings mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Might mean?
Yeah, what do these findings mean? What are criticisms? What are we doing going forward?
Right.
You guys have any food yet?
Yeah, the food's excellent.
It's good?
Yeah. It's good.
I don't have any food. Is it good? Did I have any?
Yeah, it is a lot of food.
Forget about it. I came late. I don't deserve to eat.
Pasta.
I feel bad that I didn't bring anything. I was like, I was on my way here.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I
wait,
know,
I
but-
should be bringing.
Yeah. Well, you know, Queens is hosting it.
Maybe a little bit. I don't really know what it's supposed to look like. Are you feeling any better?
Okay.
Oh, we should talk. We should mention something about. Oh, people like. We should talk about. You're gonna have to. You should give like some kind of brief description of the program itself. Like, this was an app for an iPad written in C++. Just like some basic specs. What the program is. We should talk about the testing as well. Like, not just like, oh, we just. People should know how we went about doing it. Right?
That would be in the paper. I mean, this sounds like a press release, right? This is more like a press release, I guess.
Well, we can extract. Well, this was the outline for the longer report.
Okay.
The longer preliminary report, and then the press release where we're just going to extract from this.
Yes. No. Right. Our platform going to go either in the beginning or the end. Either or. We can talk about the platform used.
What is it? What was it? I think it should go. Probably it should go come early on just to get it out of the way. So maybe in here.
All right, then we can break this up and everyone can work on individual pieces. Homework. We have homework.
Yeah.
We have homework?
Yeah.
What's the homework?
I just
To write this up.
write this up.
Oh.
I think maybe we should break it up, or we could just meet after a meeting somewhere, some other day, and just get together and start writing.
I'm going to be really honest with you. I'm not going to. I'm probably not going to be the best person to. I don't analyze data very well.
You can do the copy editing then.
I can do the copy editing.
How's that?
Yeah, totally. Especially because a lot of this started before I even arrived. You know, like how you came to these decisions and whatnot. But I'm happy to do the copy editing.
You want to get together for a writing session? Bang this out.
Good. When.
So just a draft,
Yeah.
not a
Yeah.
fine
Sure.
tune.
I have a crazy week. I just got like a bunch of new students last week, so I have a pretty crazy schedule this week. Plus, my band is also recording this week. I mean, I actually already have notes on a lot of these points already, which I've just kind of been taking as we've been going along. So I actually have a fair amount of text that I've already generated, but it's just not stitched together into a coherent kind of narrative structure.
Can you send that to us, and maybe you and I can like try to write something from
Put it together.
Yeah.
Would that be all right?
Yeah.
Can you number them?
can put it together.
For the paperwork that you think, then I will put it together. We'll mash it up.
This is one.
And then just number the documents you sent to us,
One.
if possible. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Like, pick them up or
2,
something.
3,
Maybe you can email them.
4. I mean, I could probably write. I mean, I have. I mean, PaER and OWS. That's just like. This is just going to be like 3 sentences.
Yeah.
This is going to be another 3 sentences. Yeah, this is just going to be. This will be about a page. This is like these are like a paragraph each. This will probably be about 3-4 pages long altogether. 3, 4, 4. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Let's see. What is it? What is the point? Well, we should mention the fact that this is local.
The experiment, yeah.
Yeah, like, you know,
Yeah.
we focused on this.
Where we went,
implemented-
location.
Well,
So we
no,
targeted.
no, I meant like we focused on this particular issue because it's something we could do, but also it's something that over which there's local control,
Oh, okay.
unlike like campaign finance.
Right.
You know, for instance, local control of method system. Going forward, we will be doing prep for November sample summer. And then potentially making up a kit for other people to do this as well, right?
Right. Moving forward, we plan to construct a kit for possibly other occupations or other individuals, groups are interested in. Sure. How many pages do you want to?
I mean, probably the shorter the better, right?
Yes, definitely.
But
Definitely.
Well, I had a teacher in high school, history teacher, who's like, whenever, how long does it have to be? And he said, a good paper should be like a woman's dress, short enough, long enough to cover everything, but short enough to keep you interested.
Cute.
Yeah. So
I like
that's
Long
fine.
enough to cover everything, short enough to keep you interested. I love it.
Yeah. It's
I like that.
kind of humor that's only possible in an all-boys school.
Right.
But yeah, so this will be like 1 page. It'll probably end up being like about 4 pages long.
4 pages.
I think so.
Okay.
Maybe
We'll try to.
It'll be less than 5, definitely. And then if we just and then the press release will just be a condensed version of that.
Okay.
Right. So the press releases typically are not longer than a page.
Yeah, it's usually. We get. Yeah.
But I guess we have to figure out what results we want to.
No. So right now, are we done with this? Is there anything else you need to add, Cecilia,
To
this?
I think you're a better judge of that than I am.
So yeah, just send us the data as soon as possible. Then we'll compile it. We'll match it.
Data?
The paper.
Yeah, the text. Yeah.
Sorry. Apologize.
That's okay.
And then we'll mash it together,
Yeah.
and then we'll get it back to you as soon as.
But the question is, what?
Now we're going to work on the data part.
Yeah.
Because we don't have that yet.
We haven't done that yet. Exactly. What are our findings?
Our
and what do they
findings.
mean?
Right.
And what do they mean?
So that's
What have we found?
so that. Okay. What did we find?
What did we find?
Yeah. Okay, finding number 1. I'm just gonna say whatever is initially obvious, right?
Sure.
Number 1.
Morality sucks.
That's a scientific term too. Plurality sucks.
Yeah.
The initial finding is that on the plurality, man, it's gonna go down in history. The outcome, right, was consistently different. Right? I mean, was completely different than the other experiments.
Wait, what is? I don't understand what you're saying.
The outcome of the results, or the results
We're different.
The results
The results were different than what?
All the other
were
ones.
different.
Right? Under plurality, the Democrats won. But the Democrats
Oh,
didn't win
I'm
under
sorry. I
Then-
missed the. Okay. Yeah.
Than the other, than
Right.
other results. Different methods.
So we could say the results of plurality were anomalous, in a way. Right?
Yes,
The results of plurality were
or
what?
anonymous.
Anomalous.
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 Anomaly.
What is it? Oh,
Anomalous.
Can't explain.
got it.
Anomalous. We are legion.
We are
Expect us.
What?
I was just making a bad joke about the anonymous.
Oh.
Their slogan: "We are legion. Expect us." We are We are anomalous. Don't expect us.
And anomaly. Anomalous? Is that how you spell it?
Anomalous. Yeah.
The guy I run into lives 2 blocks from where I live.
That's funny.
Anomalous.
No, I'm
Well,
good.
you
I can't
got
really
good
tolerate
pasta.
sitting on the ground too long. There's so much pasta.
I'm hungry now. Fuck. Give me a plate. All right, so that was finding like a visual.
So we have
Something superficial findings, right?
yeah.
Number 2.
which is also evidence of strategic voter.
Right. Might be evidence of strategic. Might
Color.
indicate.
It's my printer being funky.
I like that. 'Cause
It
it
kind
looks
of looks.
authentic.
It looks sepia.
But it, yeah, this looks
Evidence.
authentic.
Of strategic voting.
Yeah, they came out. I have a variety of
I have
colors
a huge
actually.
amount if you want some.
Voting. Period.
I have a variety. Look, there's another.
Do we want to say anything else?
It's just my printer.
I mean, we could just
acting
find a
weird.
certain, and then we could elaborate on each one if we want to elaborate, or we could just discard it as being frivolous. Or
Such as? How do you mean?
no, it's like the superficial findings, initial findings, what we see initially, and then we just construct a list, and then we could eliminate, or we could just work on this one, this finding until the end of
How
time.
many is there? Like 300 something? 360 or something?
316.
314 minus there's 2 bogus
Oh, yeah.
ones.
Minus 2. Well, the findings are just like it's just going to be a simple statement of what the results were, right? The numbers and the percent.
But it sure, but it depends how we approach it. I mean, we could just build on this, or we could break it down into different sections. So we could say another finding would be that under the other 3 methods, the results were the same. The outcomes were the same, or they weren't the same.
Were they though?
I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
That's what you have to.
Didn't you write? You
Don't
wrote it
we
down,
have
right?
that? Don't we have that?
We. Well,
the
we,
two of them came out.
well, the top
Oh
4.
no, we just never mind.
Range, who won range? Range won. The greens won range. And approval.
So the greens won
And
range.
The greens won range and approval.
And approval.
And they're probably likely to win.
The greens were in range and approval.
Yeah, and they're probably likely to win IRV as well.
Can we calculate? Can we do that now?
The IRV calculation?
Yeah.
Can
Is
I
it
get my,
is it complex?
Well, you actually have to go into the data view and go candidate by
Just wanted to
candidate.
show
But it's basically
20 cents a piece. So we can ask for donations for those. Like, even if it's
plurality, range. Oh wait, this was round 1. Damn green. There's only a
more made, that's what basically. Just keep getting
How much are they? I'll pay
9.
for it.
There's only Dems are only winning
No, I
by
don't
plus
know.
9 over the greens.
Eventually,
The
like,
greens.
funds can get big.
So it's going to be close between the greens or the independents,
Right.
and it might be the greens.
I don't know, but the independents are up on list twice.
Yeah.
In round 1, in round 2, and round 3, the independents are top of the list.
Yeah. I don't know. It takes a while to go through because what you have to do is like say you have to go through and like so all these people who did write-ins, you actually have to go and find that voter number. Like because their write-in vote, their top round write-in vote gets eliminated because they lost. There's only one vote.
Is the write-in relevant to our experiment? No.
Well, it is only for the calculation of the IRV total. Because because like what happens, the way you count IRV is that you see who came in last place. That's your first question, and you eliminate them.
Right.
And then people who voted for that person as their
votes
first choice,
go, boom.
then you go to their second
choice. Got it.
So you actually have to go into the data view and find each of those individual voters.
Right.
And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 18, 19, 24, 25, 26. There are 26 individual voters who we have to go through and do that for.
26.
Yeah.
Do we want to do that?
There's
Or that's
no
a
way
lot?
of. You actually have to just. And there's no way of. Is there a search function actually?
Not
the
yet.
data view. Okay.
They can be.
Yeah. Okay.
But
But to do it, you actually just have to go through and find that. We'd have to go through all 300 of them and find those individuals and then strike them and then add in and then add up +1
right.
you know, to whatever. Like this one, I think I have the. Yeah, this was what it looked like when I tallied it the last time. It doesn't make much sense.
No.
Well, this is the voter number,
Okay.
right? Like this, the socialist candidates got eliminated in the first round, so then I had to go find this person who voted for the socialist first, and then added that plus green, right?
Right. Would it be easier to just eliminate the write-ins for now for this data? and then we could go back later. Once we develop an algorithm for it, so we could do it automatically.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think that would make it necessarily any easier because we would just have to eliminate.
But we'd have to limit. We don't have to. We could ignore them. There's just very few write-ins. There's not a significant amount.
Well, there's, what did I just say? 24, 25?
26, I think.
26? I mean, that's already the difference between the Democrats and the Greens.
Okay.
So that's significant.
Yeah,
That's already. We got the write-ins were for
Occupy Wall Street.
we got Working Families Party, Anarchist, actually like some variation of none or nobody was pretty popular. There were 6
Popular.
Occupy nobody.
Yeah. 7, 8. No.
Bodiless nobody.
Yeah, there were
Bodiless.
10.
Right. Go for the spirit.
Yeah,
Non-embodied.
there were 10 write-ins for nobody or no one or no party. And there was 1 block, so I don't know. Does the block mean that all these elections are now they cannot be counted? We've been blocked. So I think we could basically say that the Greens are the independents won.
I like that. The Greens
Higher.
versus the Independents. It's an interesting.
Greens are-
that's a
yeah, so-
more refreshing.
Yeah. So Greens or independents won. So we could say under plurality the Democrats won, but the Democrats
No, we
win.
could say Greens and Independents were head to head.
Yeah, fair enough.
Inconclusive though. The findings are inconclusive.
That's fine.
All right.
So
that's
do you
a-
incorporate the locations of where, like, when you get, let's say you get 50 people, 20 people, 10 people, whatever. Let's say out of the 316, how many were in New York Square versus Liberty or Wall Street?
We did not keep tabs on that just because
We're not doing a random sample.
Yeah, we're not doing a random sampling, so I think we're just going to say at
I think that would be interesting.
Occupy events.
well at Occupy at like Saturday Occupy events
Right.
in September in
Yeah.
in April and May. So Union Square. So we basically did Union Square, Central Park, Brooklyn.
Central Park.
Yeah, I remember the Central Park, All City
Yeah.
Occupy gathering.
Oh, right.
Union Square, Central Park. Did we do anything?
Times Square.
Times Square. Did we do anything in Brooklyn?
No.
No. So I think it's just there's basically those 3 locations, and Liberty Plaza
Bryant Park.
and Bryant Park. Yeah.
New York City.
Yeah. Well, we could just say.
Bryant Park.
We could say
Actually,
like,
Manhattan. You give
Yeah.
in the.
I think
true.
that's good
Manhattan.
information to have.
So I think we did Bryant Park, Times Square.
People ask, and eventually as it grows, like, well, also Brooklyn, also Queens,
Union
blah, blah, blah.
Square.
It's so diverse that it
Range
becomes
IV, range IV, and
versus,
approval
like, we did
yielded.
300 in Times Square. But
Yeah.
however, that would also be interesting. Like 300 for Times Square, what kind of look does that have?
Yeah.
Versus 300 in South Brooklyn. And then you could have mapping of different, whatever. Eventually, you see patterns, and it's worth
Results
mapping.
were.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah, we're not keeping track of which of like states basically, and attaching states to a set of responses. So Bryant Park, Times Square, Union Square, Liberty Plaza. Am I missing anything? Most of them we got at Union Square. Union Square was like the majority of our
That's a hot
stuff.
spot.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Central Park.
Oh yeah, Central Park.
Yielded and inclusive results. Okay, so range IRV and approval results were similar. IRV, no, I don't. Okay. However, within IRV, I don't know how to word this. How?
We could say so the Democrats won under plurality, but not any other method. Greens won.
Do we want to name parties, or do we just want to say like generic?
Well, we're gonna have to say. I mean, we're gonna have to say what was the question that we asked,
Okay.
and what were the options that people were given. We're gonna have to say we asked the generic ballot question. if the elections, we're just we didn't make that up. That the pollsters made that up, right? So,
But maybe we should just assign a value, A, B, C, D, E, Z.
then that wouldn't make any sense.
Well, just when somebody reads it, so they don't.
You mean like Party A won under
Right.
plurality,
Right.
Party B won under.
Right.
I don't. That's a thought, actually.
Why would you want to?
So it doesn't
Skewer
sound like with favor. So immediately people would, when they read it, they would say, "Oh, this party sucks. Why did they win?" And then I don't know.
Well, our hypothesis is that it won because of the method,
Right.
right? I mean, I don't.
But
think
we're testing method. We're not testing the. We're focused on the method.
We're not testing the popularity of the party. We're testing the method.
Right.
Exactly.
So if we
So,
were to use a generic description of the parties, it might.
we were just showing that the results are different for those parties.
But it doesn't. It's not going to make if we use like a code, just like a letter code to.
Oh, in other
It's
words,
not going to make any sense. It's like, well, why pick A over B?
Well,
Why was A more popular under plurality? That doesn't make any sense. But if you say the Democrats won under plurality, then that makes sense. Right? If it were strategic, like we wouldn't have evidence of strategic voting if we just gave people the option of like, what would you support? A,
Right.
B, C, or D?
Right.
If people
You're
were given
right.
that, there would be no way.
Well,
of
no, not to. No, but I understand what you're saying. I think we should list the parties.
I mean,
Where
we
are
should.
you? Where are you?
because of
setting?
strategic voting.
This
Okay.
is for like an info packet we're putting together.
So it's not while people are involved.
No.
Info packet for people who are interested in the results.
Yeah. Also, Cecilia is going to Netroots Nation next week, so it's
What is that?
out there.
That's an event.
Huh?
That's an event.
I can't hear you.
Netroots Nation is an event.
It's a convention in Rhode Island. It's an annual convention, and
Lefty.
it's left liberal types. Bernie Sanders is going to be there. Dylan Radigan, Jen Kuker, a bunch of the lesser known bloggers. Those are
We're in
some-
Rhode Island.
Providence.
Okay.
It grew out of Daily Cost.
I've
I've heard of Netroots.
Yeah, that's where it's from.
That's what it is. Exactly. Yeah. Bernie Sanders is going to be there. Sherrod Brown is going to be there.
1 day, 2 days,
3.
3 days. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big
Bless
deal.
you.
Thanks.
Yeah, I signed up for it last August before Occupy even came on my radar because I was just like, I need to do something. And then after Occupy, I was like, I don't really need to go to Netroots Nation now because I've found my thing, but I already paid for it, and it's non-refundable. So I'm going with a friend, and
It's interesting.
and then I started to think, okay, well, I could actually represent Occupy Wall Street, get this stuff, so
Particular progress.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's been development.
Yeah.
Update
Alright, so-
people and let them know
So-
that
yeah.
there's tangible
Right.
things going on.
Right.
All right. So
Yeah, so I don't think we can obscure that because if we're just gonna be open and transparent
Sure.
about what our findings are, we have to be open and honest about
Sure.
what we asked people and what they were
Yeah.
actually saying.
I agree.
What
I agree.
I mean, a reason to do that like a methodological reason to do that would be like we don't want to prejudice the results because it's still ongoing, but it's not ongoing.
Right.
I don't want to prejudice the way people are reading the results. I want
yeah.
I want them to.
But that might be.
I want to sell the idea that
But
alternative voting.
But like the tension there though is that like what you want to obscure is actually what people will like want to grab onto most.
Right.
They'll be like,
Well, I don't want them
look
to
at
grab on
this,
because
look
the
at
Greens
this.
will win. I want them to grab on because democratically it's probably the right thing to do to improve
Yeah.
our democracy.
Well,
That's why I want to
exactly.
But I think it's actually now that I'm thinking about it, I think it's going to be more powerful, like what Tim was saying, that to show.
If these are methods that favor Republicans, for example, we should still publish our findings. But would we say, would we say that Republicans won on this method and then we approve this method because Republicans won? Is that in a sense we approve of the Republican Party or the Green Party?
No, we're not endorsing a party.
But it appears that to others that are reading it, they just chose this method because it favors the Greens, not because it's a better system. It can become a distraction.
Well, you know what? Maybe we should put a disclaimer in there then. Just write a disclaimer saying that our mission was not to demonstrate leaning towards any particular. The language can be better than what I'm saying right now, but just put a disclaimer in there and just point out that that's exactly not what we're doing.
Right. Okay. Sure.
Write that down.
So our claim could be, our results are reproducible. Sure.
But there actually are a lot of Greens at Occupy. It didn't surprise me that the Greens won under it.
No, it doesn't surprise me either. But I think we should put a disclaimer in there.
Okay.
We do not endorse any party or organization.
Well, I think it should be more than that, though. I think it should be our
sentence?
intent was not to demonstrate a popularity of one party over another, something like that.
Was not to gauge public opinion regarding
Did you bring food for everyone else?
parties,
You guys are busy.
but rather to compare voting methods themselves.
Yeah, it's almost time for my next feeding.
I gotta grab some.
That sounds so nefarious.
What sounds nefarious?
It's time for my feeding.
Oh.
You see that, there's some headline today, I think it was in Miami, some cops, shot and killed some guy who was naked eating some other guy's face.
What? What?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Sorry. I thought everyone
What
knew
happened
about this. Oh, sorry.
What happens in Miami?
Yeah, it happens in
Supposed to
Miami.
stay in
It stays in Miami. That's right. You got onto the internet, though, and now it's everywhere.
That is disgusting.
Yeah. Sorry. I thought everyone heard. We do not endorse any party or organization. Our intent was not to gauge public opinion regarding parties, but rather to compare voting methods themselves.
Not to engage public opinion?
Not to gauge. Gauge, survey. Yeah. Okay. So we just have we could just take top line results. Who won under each of the methods? Top line results. Who won under each method? And then what else? What are other possibilities? What are other questions that our data can answer?
Well, maybe that there was an indication of strategic voting under some methods, but not under others. Can we discern that?
Yeah. Yes, we have that.
Yeah, we talked about this.
We got that.
Jason.
Good morning, Jason.
I love it when really, really big people scream at tiny little children.
Expecting they'll answer in a calm way.
I think that's so effective.
Yeah.
Special child rearing talents.
Okay, what else did we talked about a lot.
What are other questions that our data can answer?
Sure.
You've been the least involved in this. You might have the most freshest eyes on this.
And you have a bullet list of what you have answered?
Right now, right now we're scratching the surface right now. Who won under each method, and the different groups win? And the answer to that question is yes. Different groups won.
Democrats for plurality, Greens and Independents for what?
Everything else.
Everything else.
Yeah, Democrats only won. In a way, the plurality result is like an outlier.
Yeah.
It's not it's out of sync with all the other three in some way.
And for plurality question, how many selections were there?
That's the most robust. There were three. Like everyone answered the plurality question. So there's 314 responses on plurality.
Yeah, look.
How many selections?
Some other interesting.
How many selections on the menu?
Oh, there were six. There were six for all of them. It was Democrats, Republicans, Independents, Greens, Libertarians. No, five, I guess. Democrats, Republicans.
It's kind of puzzling.
And Socialists. Yeah, so there were six. It's already five.
All right, that took me an hour and a half.
One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, six.
So the findings, I mean, the thing that would come to mind about plurality is consistency, like it's consistent, I guess, with how New Yorkers are expected to vote.
Yeah, I mean, it's consistent. It's what you would expect from an Occupy crowd, right? It's Republicans.
Did Republicans keep coming last on all of them?
I think so. Yeah, it's definitely plurality.
Right, so the data is definitely not random.
Yeah.
Not representative.
Well, the Republicans got 8 under plurality. 8 out of 316.
Wow.
I'm surprised they even got 8.
Well, those are Ron Paul supporters, probably.
Right. So the sample size is
like there were more people who voted for nobody.
And they were probably not Occupy people. They were probably
is not.
No, they were. I think they were Ron Paul people.
Really?
Of the occupying crowd. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, there were 12 for nobody or no one or some variation of that. Like nobody, it was more popular than the Republicans.
Yeah. Republicans, they came in dead last, right? Except for the write-ins.
Yeah. There were some write-ins who were more popular than the Republicans.
the Republicans.
Like nobody was more popular than the Republicans.
Is nobody a Republican?
No.
Republicans.
The Libertarians? What did the Libertarians get? Under plurality. There were 10 for the Libertarians.
But wait a second. How could there be, if in plurality, wasn't Libertarian a choice?
Yeah.
So then why are you saying that the people who selected Republican were Ron Paul supporters? Why wouldn't they just choose Libertarian?
Because Ron Paul's a Republican, not a Libertarian.
What's the party doing?
Okay.
But isn't he the father of libertarianism, as defined in America?
I thought he was essentially a libertarian who identifies as Republican just to get his name on the ballot.
He kind of is, but he's still a Republican, technically. I think he's also a lifetime member of the Libertarian Party, but, it doesn't say Libertarian after his name, it says Republican after his name. If you wanted to vote for Ron Paul in the primary, you have to be registered Republican.
Got it.
In New York State. Also, I just remember people wearing Ron Paul shirts and voting Republican. And there's a pretty significant Ron Paul contingent at Occupy. A lot of the anonymous folks are Ron Paul people. What other ideas? I mean, I think I have a list of questions that our data can answer at home on my computer, but none of them are coming to me right now. But there were more in-depth things. It's like there are questions like, of the people who voted for the Democrats under plurality.
What's also interesting is how they're head to head under Democrats. Greens and Independents. They're head to head on each method. Well, IRV we don't know yet, but it appears that this is the case on the IRV. This didn't affect the method. Didn't affect how people voted for the Greens and Independents
as far as their relative popularity. Yeah. But
is that important? I don't know.
I think it just shows. Well, that's just going to be the top line result. Like, right? What were the results? What were the results for each method? Right. That's what this is.
So, right, because over here you only have one vote. You can only have one
Yeah.
say under this method. So that's
Yeah.
right. Strategic all the way.
Yeah.
Even when it doesn't matter. Which is,
Exactly. Yeah. Even when it doesn't matter, people still vote strategically. That's an interesting point.
yeah. Even when it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm kind of puzzled by why the Democrats came out first.
It's
Well, they came out
conditional
first
response,
with like 33% support, basically. Right? It's not that they won with like 50% of the vote. They only got like 33% of the vote. So I think out of 316 response or 3 out of 16 responses, the Democrats got 110, and that which was more than anyone else.
It's just, so this would be like a, I don't know, a conditioned response. I would say this is like a conditional. We need a psychologist here. Where's Ann?
Yeah. But we can answer other questions, but this would be difficult. So we need like a logarithm for this, or an algorithm for this. For looking at each person's response under, right? Let's say this person voted for X under plurality. Where did they put X in the other two methods that they voted in, right? This person, let's say this person voted for the Democrats under plurality. Did they approve of the Democrats? And what did they? Where did they range
Ranked,
them as?
right? Yeah,
We might find that they voted for the Democrats under plurality, but they didn't approve of them
Right.
under approval.
Right.
That'd be nice.
Or they voted for the Democrats under plurality, but they gave them a 2
That
on
I
range.
would love to find out.
Or they voted for the Democrats under plurality, but they were number 3 in ranked choice.
We could do we could do a random. We could see. Let's do a random. We'll
Is
see.
there a way to amass that data very easily, like in the aggregate?
Yes, we could amass that. We just. I would have to write for each one. I would have to write a small algorithm
For each question like that?
Yeah, it's pretty much. Unless we know somebody that uses Excel well, and we can just upload this in a database, and then because you can do functions on the fly.
Yeah.
So you don't have to fucking recompile the code and fucking go through all the.
Yeah, probably doesn't make much sense to rewrite Excel. Although someone would have to enter that into, how would we extract the data into an Excel file?
That's no problem. It's very simple. You make a text file with rows and columns, and then Excel will just
Extract it.
extract it, and then you can fucking do whatever you want with the cells afterwards. It's designed.
Can I go get some food?
Yeah.
So let's pick somebody from the Democrat. Let's see what happens. Number 12. So they voted for the Democratic Party. So let's find voter number 12 under. You want to see if they approved of them?
Yep.
Voter number 12.
Well, they might not have done approval, but yeah.
Right.
I'll bring a bunch for everybody.
Sure.
Okay?
That'd be great.
I'll bring a big plate full.
I haven't rolled on these except for maybe a joint.
Okay, they didn't vote approval. Let's see. Let's go another candidate. So 12. We could look at 12. Let's see. It's worth 12. Let's look at number 2. Approval number 2. They approved. So strike number 2. Let's see what number 2. So they approved. Number 2 approved
Of the Dems?
of the Dems. They approved. Let's see what they.
Who else did they approve?
They approved of. They disapproved of the Greens and the Republicans.
That was it, and they approved.
No, I mean
The Democrats?
they disapproved of the Greens and the Republicans.
So they voted
They voted Democrat
under plurality,
On the plurality,
But
they
then they-
voted Democrat as their top choice.
They
I mean, as their
disapproved
choice.
and the only people they disapproved were the Greens and the
The
Republicans.
Greens and the Republicans.
Interesting. Libertarian-leaning Democrat.
I guess. I don't know. Weird, right?
Could be like a civil libertarian Democrat.
Sympathetic to independence?
Yeah.
Let's look at another one. Let's look at
What was the third one they did? That individual.
number 2.
Is that what you're looking at?
I was only gonna look at range and approval. I'm not gonna look at IRB because IRB.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So you need to find someone who did range and approval. Yeah.
IRB is fucking hype.
But you could see what they listed under IRB, right? Where did the Democrats even make their IRB list?
Number 2. Well, they did approval and they didn't do IRB.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Voted.
So let's look at number.
Morality.
Let's look at number 4 and 5. They did Democrat on the plurality. Let's look at approval. Look at 4. They didn't do approval.
It's a mishmash of stuff here.
Let's look at range.
Why aren't there any police here?
There's a group of 4 cops who walked by. Yeah, it's a good question.
Oh, that's a
It
very
might
good
be
question.
because it's Queens.
Oh, these napkins are wet. Oh well.
Yeah, homesick.
4, 5. All right, so number 4. So this is pretty interesting. So number 4 voted Democratic Party. They ranged them as 5, so it's their top range. So they favor Democrats, regardless of the method. However, voter number 4 voted for Democrat, and they gave them a 3 in the range.
Uh-huh.
But they didn't give anyone else a 5.
Interesting.
But I want to find somebody that disapproves. They voted for them, but they disapprove.
It probably won't take you very long.
Find somebody who voted for Democrat but disapprove of him?
Yeah.
I would
Right.
love that happened.
I'm sure there's plenty of Obama people like that.
Yeah.
Maybe even the majority of them.
So let's look at 9. 9. 19.
So for this question, we'll have 200 responses, right? For each one. For an individual who voted X under plurality, how did they rate X under range?
Right, we
There'll
have
be 200
over
of
200.
those.
Yeah, 200.
200 and a handful.
Change.
Yeah. And then would be the same for how did they approve, or did they approve or disapprove that person under approval?
So we can't compare approval. We can, but the sample size would be much smaller. So
200.
200. We pick only one of them. Approval.
No, but if we compare, let's say.
But we compare all 3 methods. So you want to see how they did it in range and in approval status.
Oh yeah.
Then that would
That's
shrink
a much-
down to 100.
But if we just do plurality, if we just compare plurality results with each of the other individual ones, we'll have 200, right?
Yeah, if we do, if we show D and
I'm
approval,
a former smoker.
I don't even smoke.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
D and approval, and D and range.
I like being in the
But
park.
it's 2 separate things, 2
Yeah.
separate steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we have 200.
You can say,
But we can't say D, A, and approval and range.
Yeah.
I mean, we can, but the
there's
sample size
only going to be 100 of them.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
It's extremely small.
So we can do that. We can do 3 separate things for that, right? So
Let's go to see an approval. So we're looking at 9. Ooh, 9. So look at 9. No, I'm sorry. I should have wrote that. I put 1 and 0 instead of approval, disapproval. They didn't do it. And 23, they didn't do it. Yeah, this is a pain in the ass. We gotta do it. Make a little function. Let's pull this data out. So I guess the question is, do we have anyone that we know that knows how to use Excel?
I know how to use Excel.
You know how to...
Like
The what?
complex functions and stuff.
Well,
You know how to... Yeah.
moderately complex. What do you do?
So we're gonna upload all this data into an Excel spreadsheet. Can you pick the cells out individually and create a function,
I think so.
complex function in order to determine like IRV, in order to eliminate through that elimination. So create an algorithm, pretty much, in a function format. An algorithm is just a function.
Scares me.
Sorry, that's all it is. Just a fancy way of saying function.
I can do
Computer
functions in
science.
Excel.
Okay, then you could do.
I'll take a crack out of it.
Cool.
A crack at it. If it doesn't work, then
All right, so then I'll do that. I'll create a data sheet for Excel spreadsheets. Do you know what kind of data sets? It just takes rows and columns, right? Columns.
yeah.
I'll look it up. I'll look up the format again. I did it once a long time ago.
It's just rows and columns.
Rows and columns. Then we can do that. All right, so yeah, that's it. It probably exists, but it's a pain in the ass to find that information. Maybe it doesn't exist. Who knows?
Well, because there's going to be. Well, which of the spreadsheets? I mean, we should make multiple spreadsheets, right? There should be one spreadsheet for.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be spreadsheets for everything. So you're gonna have one for each. One for each method, except for IRV. That's gonna have 3 spreadsheets. Can you combine spreadsheets? Can you also? So functions can also call other spreadsheets, right?
Yeah.
And combine them in other
Yeah.
cells. Yeah. So IRV will have 3 spreadsheets.
Well, it'd have to be the same. It's part of the same document, though. I mean, it could be 2 separate pages, but it would have to be part of the same
So
document.
the data set, is it in one document? Can it just read from one document, or does it need?
I think they call them sheets inside, right? Sheet
Sheets.
1, sheet 2,
Okay.
sheet 3
Yeah.
inside Excel.
Yeah. Right. It can't be a whole different
file.
Right.
Okay, so then I'll set up for Excel spreadsheet. That doesn't help us now.
Well, what other questions can we answer? So we have, individual. What were their aggregate results for each of the outcomes? How do they compare with one another? How did the same voter? How did the same respondent act? Comparing plurality with each of the other 3. We'll have 200 responses for that, right?
Yeah.
Of all the people who voted range, how did they vote under plurality, like that comparison? For all the people who voted approval, how does that compare with plurality? For all the people who did IRV, how does that compare with plurality? Right?
Yeah. That's what.
That's already a ton of information.
Yeah.
Actually.
But we need that spreadsheet. We need that. To tally this. It's ridiculous.
And then we'll have to produce some nice graphs.
Yeah. Do you know how to do graphs?
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
I'm gonna put.
Well,
it
that's
in-
right. You can do graphs in Excel. It's not just columns.
You could
You
like.
can do
I
actual
don't know.
graphs.
I never really used Excel. I mean,
And what, you save them as images?
Yeah. Yeah, like a pie chart or something.
Yeah,
Is
you
that what you're
save
talking
it
about?
like as a JPEG or PNG. Just a separate thing you can post anywhere on any web page.
Yeah.
all right. Do we need that for this document for the packet?
Yeah. What are we going to put in this packet? Right? Because that might take a lot of time to do, like with all the spreadsheets and generating that information.
Well, I think just considering the fact that we're limited on time, because I really want to bring something up there,
With some
maybe we
things?
should not be so
Stickers.
Just do the top line.
ambitious.
Yeah, just do the top line results. And
Yeah.
say we found evidence of strategic voting
Yeah.
and
what else? What else we
But
said?
everything is changing.
Our intentions.
Well, we found.
The entire voting system is changing
exactly.
in the next couple months. How are we going to do that?
Right.
We've got our work cut out for us.
So when it doesn't matter.
It's military.
I think this is enough for
Yes, that's a ton of information. I mean, it's also standard practice with this, like when survey organizations do like gather information like this, they release it in dribs and drabs. That way they can get multiple news cycles out of one survey, right? So you think top line results of this, blah, and then more detailed results later, and then we could potentially get 10 press releases of 10 different sets of information.
Yeah, we could milk this until the end of fucking time.
Yeah.
They could fucking milk it for a very long
Well, that
time.
sounds like that's a lot already.
Yeah.
But by next week, we're gonna have to tabulate the IRB.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna start working on creating that spreadsheet. So we're gonna tabulate on this spreadsheet, right? Okay. So I'll just generate I'll look it up again. I'll see what type of format it has to be in. But it just rows and columns. That's already cool last time.
Yeah.
Rows and columns. And, that's it. Any other conclusions we could draw? Just for anything else? Any ideas?
I think that's already a lot for the initial press release. I mean, the initial press release, like, this is what we did. It happened. We actually did it. These are our aggregate findings. That's already a lot, I think.
I think so.
I mean, that's pretty much all Gallup and Rasmussen do. But the really interesting thing, people are that maybe that political blogger types are going to latch onto is that is Occupy is more extreme than the Democrats.
Oh my God. That's
That's like it's like there's fodder in there for the Green Party is going to like the results. This will be like, this is why we need alternative voting methods. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. All right. Who's going to you want me to tabulate the IRV results again?
You want to wait for the spreadsheet, or you want to do it?
I mean, it took me about an hour and a half to do it the first time. And really, the thing that just takes the longest with it is just finding the individual voters, and not this just doing this.
I could create that function where it finds out it quickly with like 2 lines. I mean,
All right.
So.
All right. Okay, do that.
But there's more to the algorithm, of course. But
Yeah.
That's like.
There are also. I mean, I found online there are like IRV calculators online already.
But we have to upload
Yeah.
the data. That requires a long, big line.
Yeah.
It's local. It's much easier to do it.
But you know how the function works for the tabulation of IRV?
I'm not sure. We have to go through it after the meeting.
Okay.
Because we would construct a word algorithm. Word function.
I can write it down real quick.
People are more willing to take it, the voting experiment when it's cookies.
There were definitely more people when there were cookies. That definitely had an attractive function. Hungry people voted for.
Right. Well, that's to be incorporated now. Hungry versus satisfied after cookies.
And was there a difference with shortbread cookies versus chocolate chip cookies?
Yeah.
Were there chocolate chip cookie lovers tend to vote Democrat, and
See, then you can start
shortbread
sending
cookie
press
lovers
releases
tend
to
to vote-
all the cooking shows, like cooking websites and all that. Incorporate politics into cooking in order to get a different audience.
Well, and that could be our control, actually, right?
people who like to eat tend to vote.
For the claim for strategic voting.
And the findings were fat Americans don't vote. So you'd have a scale also, where people mostly you find out that you there's no fat Americans that even want to vote.
Well, we would have the results, but they ate my iPad.
All right.
So that moves into a whole other thing that Apple.
We're recording
take
this. This is going down in history.
This is being recorded. Stop it.
I'm just a passerby. I'll see you guys later. I'm
right.
going.
Bye.
I live in Queens.
Bye.
Just wanted to see what you guys are up to in my neighborhood. I'm a cop, actually. See ya.
Bye. All right. I think we're out of time.
Yeah.
Do we want to continue?
Actually, I have to head out.
I don't have
My
anything
mom's
to
still
add.
waiting.
Are we done with the? We still. Are we done with the packet? Do we know we're gonna add? We're done with that, right?
Why does that say VB?
Voting experiment.
Oh.
So is this meeting over?
Yes.
Yes.
Up twinkles. Middle fingers. Is that middle fingers people holding up? There we go. Oh, that was a very productive meeting. Bye-bye.